I wanted to put together a video providing more details on exactly what I do every day. Now, a lot of people have come to me over the last year or so since I started doing these e-learning courses. My one course is how to become a small business consultant and loan broker. And what I do is I teach people how to generate their own leads. I'm going to be coming out with a training program that's just lead generation. So to show people how to get into the lead generation business, that's where I've made most of my money. And when I say most of my money, I mean since 2015, so 15, 16, and 17, I've made $5.6 million. In 2017, I made 2.4 million just that year. So lead generation is an amazing business. I love it personally because it's scalable. All you need is money to throw at it. Now, when I say need money to throw at it, I should tell you when I first started, I just spent 20 bucks a day, right? And I just took $20 a day. I started making a profit and I invested my profit and I kept building, building, building. Now, I could, sometimes I spend up to $8,000 a day. So, so you can see how it grew, but it took me 3 years to get to that point. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but I got to tell you, if you want to work from home and if you want a business where you don't really have to deal with customers or clients or try to sell people stuff, this is the business to do. Now, lead generation and affiliate marketing are kind of like the same thing. Affiliate marketing is really when you promote someone else's product, you drive traffic to it. Pretty much every large brand has an affiliate program, like a 1-800-Flowers, for example. Send traffic to our site. If we close a deal, we'll give you a percentage. I do a little bit of that on the back end, and I'll explain that in a second. But my main thing as a lead generator is I sell direct to buyers. That means when I generate a lead, I sell it. So let me go into this. So this is a page that I have that's a business loan website. That means that I put ads on Facebook. Someone comes to this page, and here's a form. If they filled out this form, let's just say they're a company that does, $10,000 a month in revenue. They've been in business between 6 and 12 months. They fill out their name, first name, last name, phone, email, company. They hit up get approved today. I sell that lead. It goes into my lead distribution software, and then it gets routed to my buyer. Now, there's two ways that you can route leads. One way is through what's called an API. It's really just, a computer talking to a computer, to make it as simple as possible. So this information, the person's name, email, phone number, etc., goes into my lead distribution software and gets sent over to my clients or my lead buyers database. And then their sales guys pick up the phone and call. So for me, I don't have to sell anything. Lead comes in, it goes out. I like to call it an ATM machine. It just pumps out leads every single day. It's amazing. All right, and I've been scaling this business obviously for the last 3 years. And again, I'm one person company, so I can only do so much work in a day. So I run this business and I have my e-learning business where I'm teaching people how to do this stuff, just so you understand. So I really do this stuff every single day. So now there are some buyers when they buy these leads, they go and they get an email from me, right? So I generate the lead and they want the lead via email. That's fine too. That's dependent on the buyer and how they want it. So this is the real-time leads. This is a lead that comes in instantly. They fill out the form and I sell it. Now you can see that click to call button. Someone could click that and make a phone call and I get paid on those as well. So that's selling the phone call. You don't really do as many phone calls as you're going to do forms, the form fill here, but hey, you might as well make as much money as you can. So real quick, I'm going to go to my lead distribution software. I use a company called Lead Conduit, and I am actually going to pull this page. So let's go back to 15. So this is January 1st, 2015 to December 2015. So the whole entire year, I generated 34,000 leads. Not a lot of leads. I still made $1.57 million that year, right? Because I was making a hefty, hefty profit per lead that I was generating. So it was very cool. But what happens is, just like any industry or marketing, things change. Lead cost goes up. You have to make some changes to your business, So what I started learning after 2015, what I learned was you have to know how to monetize the leads and do a better job at that. And that's what I started learning. At first, I was just concerned about my lead costs and driving leads in, and that was it. I didn't really do too much monetizing beyond my one buyer that I had at the time. When I first started, I just had one buyer, and generating leads for them, and that was it. I was making a great profit, but I really wasn't doing a good job at monetizing leads beyond that buyer. And I'll get to what I mean by that in a minute. So this is 2015. I generated 34,000 leads. 2016, the full year, I upped it to 82,000 leads, or 83 almost. And then going to 2017, January 1st to December, again, 236,000. So I went from 34 to 82 to 236. All right. So obviously, I've been scaling my leads. Now, this business is all about volume, volume of leads, and monetizing. Of course, you want to drive your cost per lead down. That's obviously important. But so I'm going to go through a couple of things I learned in a second. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. So this is 2018. So right now it's February 12th, 2018. Let me actually just bring this to the 12th. So this is the total amount of leads I generated for this year. About 6 weeks in, I'm at 34,000. So we'll see how this year goes. If you go back to January, I'm sorry, let's go back to January 31st. So just the first month, and times this by 12. Let's see how many leads I did for the first month. So 25, right? So 25,000 divided by 12, about 300,000 leads. So I'm going to probably be on pace. The beginning of January is slow. It took a little while to get going again after the holidays. But I would imagine I'll be on the same pace, and that's really what I'm shooting for. I'm not trying to grow this anymore. I'm just keeping it where it is, and I'm actually putting more time into the e-learning business going forward, just so you understand where this is at. This thing makes a ton of money, and I'm cool with it. And in order for me to really grow beyond where I'm at right now, that just means I need to, put more time into it, or maybe even hire people, and I really don't want to do that. So I like having a one-person company. Uh, so I showed you the form. Form comes in, they go here, it goes to my lead distribution software, and it goes out. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just giving you a high-level overview. I'm not really going into a lot of details, but let me just show you one company. So now when I generate a business loan lead, what does that mean? That means it's someone looking for a business loan, and it could be a company that's a startup, or it could be a company that does $50,000 a month in revenue, right? It's all over the place. So now there's certain lenders, right, direct business loan lenders, that are going to want a specific type of lead. Like, for example, if you ever heard of merchant cash advance, you can Google it if you don't know about it. Merchant cash advance is short-term, high-interest loans, and they're for businesses. And the reason why is because businesses can't go to banks and get loans very easily, so there's an alternative lending space. It's kind of like, high-interest mortgage loans, or what they used to call subprime loans before the disaster back in '08. You have subprime auto finance loans. So if you get an auto loan and you have a high interest because you have bad credit or whatever, there's always someone willing to give you money if you want to pay for it. So if you're a business and you want to get into and you need a loan, and you're going to make a profit no matter what, you might as well take the money and grow your business even though you're paying a premium for it. That's what companies do. So, but let's just say it's a startup. All right, well, no one's going to give a startup a loan. They may if they have good credit. But if it's a startup with bad credit and it's a business, it's going to be hard for that person to get a loan. So what do? I sell that lead off to credit repair, credit monitoring, and other stuff just to try to monetize it. So there's a company that I sell leads to, and they do credit monitoring, just so you understand. So a lead comes in to my system, and if they're a startup, I send them here for a credit monitoring service, and I get paid for every lead that's generated. So going back to January 17th, I'm sorry, January 2007 to December 2007, so the full year, I made $582,840. Now think about that for a second. This is something I was never doing at first. You can even look at the beginning of, March here, and I didn't really start pushing as hard until April. But this is 17. I've been doing it since 2015. Now, I've been working with this company for a while, but I never really did a lot with them. In 17, I started pushing it, and I made $582,000, right? That's insane. So that is massive. So now back then when I was doing it, I was like, wow, let me generate more volume so I can just monetize this stuff. So, over the last 3 years, I've been learning, about lead costs and monetizing data, the different ways to monetize it, all that fun stuff. So let me pull up little spread PowerPoint here that I kind of just threw together for this video. So just gonna, again, this is a quick overview of keys to lead generation. And realistically, it's monetizing leads. Of course, lead cost is important, but monetizing those leads, there's so much more scalability on a monetizing lead side than there is on a lead gen side, because when you generate a lead, you can only get your lead cost really down so much. It is what it is, right? How much time and effort do you want to get to save 10% on your lead cost or 5% on your lead cost, whatever you can. Now, of course, do whatever you can. But for me, because I am a one-person company. Listen, I had 10 employees, to be a different story. But because I'm a one-person company and I want to keep my costs low and I love, working from home and doing everything what I do, I started switching. I said, all right, my lead cost is my lead cost. But if I put more time into monetizing the data, like that one company I made over $500,000 with, $582,000, that is massive. That blows away saving 10% of my lead cost, right? So monetizing data. So this is how it comes in. So real-time leads, like I said before, the leads come in real time. I send lead via API. Like I said, that's computer to computer for you, those of you who don't know what an API is. If you ever heard of Salesforce, it's something like that, right? So it's just database to database. Or you can send a lead via email to get started. That's what I did. I didn't have it. I didn't really want to spend all this money to kind of create all this automation and whatever. Not that it really costs that much, to be honest with you. It's really not. But just to make your life easy, send leads via email. It's basically free. So it kind of gets you going. But you can also do phone calls. The good thing about phone calls, you don't really pay for phone calls unless you use it. So if you're using a phone call, then you know you're selling a lead and you're making money. So that's okay. So there's a bunch of different ways to do phone calls. Some like an IVR, where someone calls in and it starts asking them questions like press one for yes, two for no, something along those lines. So you can do that. You can ask the person questions and sell off that lead to different buyers for different filters. Okay. So that's really another great way to monetize the data. So that's real time. That means a lead comes in, you get the lead and you sell it off. Now, there is another way. After the person fills out the form, like this is what I do with that company that paid me over $500,000. After someone fills out the form on my site, I actually take the lead and I forward them to the credit monitoring offer. And then whatever happens, happens, right? But you can see a lot happens. So now that's what happened there. Okay, so you have the real-time leads and then you have your age leads. Now, this is a lead that you generated. It could be an hour old or 3 months old or a year old. Doesn't really matter. It's just an age lead. So it's not real time anymore. So what you can do is you can sell the data. You can literally just take this spreadsheet, right, of 100 leads, 1,000 leads, 10,000 leads, whatever it is, and just sell them for whatever price you can get. That's one option. So I do that, obviously. I have some buyers that just buy the data. Then you can email to your age leads. So whenever I generate a lead, I dump into Aweber. That's my email marketing software. So I dump it into Aweber, and then I just run, emails out to my leads pretty much every day. So somebody comes into my system, they get an email pretty much every day, and I try to monetize lead. That's something I literally started doing like the end of last year to this year, and really more this year, even though we're 6 weeks into the year. I really started pushing that where I'm emailing every single day. I never did that before. And now I'm seeing even bigger numbers. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is really working. Every time I send out an email, I make money. Could be, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, right? It just depends on, what offer it is and how it works. But you want to test offers out and see which offer resonates with your list. Plus you also on top of that have different email subject lines, etc., right? Everything's going to work a little differently depending on the type of lead that you have and what offer you have. So that's emailing the lead. Then you also have an SMS, right? You can just text them. I did this for a little while, but I never really got big into it. And then because I'm in the financial space, the company I was working with gave me some problems. So I just haven't had the time to find another SMS company. So but some people have contacted me. I've been to some trade shows, and I'm gonna put the time into figuring that out and launching that. But I was never consistent. Even when I tested out a little bit, I was never really consistent with it. So, but I know for a fact that is huge. Texting is so huge right now with the to communicate with people. So that's just going to skyrocket my profits as well once I implement that. So this is just monetizing the data. So now the types of lead buyers, right? Now this is going to depend on your industry, right? So depending on what you do is going to depend on the type of buyers you have and what you can do for it. But for me, let me just explain a little bit what I do. So I have my business loan buyers. These are people that can truly provide a business loan. So when someone fills out the form, I know that this person has a chance to get a business loan, so I sell a lead off to those guys. We have startup lenders. These are guys typically they can do a startup loan, but it's someone that really has to have decent credit, like 650, 680. So I sell those off. And then you have, credit repair, like I mentioned before, the credit monitoring, like I mentioned. And then you have like affiliate offers. Okay. Affiliate offers is kind of like the credit, credit monitoring and credit repair are similar to affiliate offers, but there's plenty of affiliate networks out there. Anything from a Commission Junction, CJ.com, you have a Max Bounty, you have hundreds and hundreds of affiliate networks that have all these different offers in their network, and you just have to do the research. You got to figure out what you want to promote. I got to say, like GoDaddy in the web hosting space is a great one, right? Really, really good affiliate program to run. You also have like a HostGator too, but they're all over the place. All right, it doesn't matter. It depending on what you're trying to do and the types of leads you're generating is going to depend on which type of offers. But you just got to do the research for that. Then you have small business services. So for me, because I'm generating leads that are business loans and they're pretty much small business owners typically, so I figured out a way to put a network together of over 700 lead buyers that promote all types of small business services, anything from, you know, uh, just literally food and beverage deliveries to, other types of loan offers to, human resources, telecommunications, web design, all sorts of stuff. So that's just, again, these are the types of things that I'm working on to try to monetize the data. And it works very, very well. So going back to lead cost is obviously important. Monetizing leads is just as important, and if you ask me, really more important in the end, because there's way more monetizing that you can do than driving that lead cost down. I found that Facebook is the cheapest way to generate a lead in the different verticals that I played around with over the last 3 years. But business loans has been my biggest vertical. Instagram is integrated to Facebook if you don't know that, so you can run ads there. YouTube works great. I'm going to start ramping this up for my e-learning business. It doesn't work good for business loans, but it works great for the e-learning space, like a work at home opportunity, a business opportunity, that type of stuff. It really works good for that. Again, depending on what you're doing. Of course, Google AdWords works great too. They're usually on the expensive side, depending on what you're doing. But hey, if you can just be smart with your marketing, test out, see what works, anytime you can generate a lead for cheap, you might as well, do it, right? So there's no reason to not test Google AdWords for whatever you're doing. And I'm just going to throw in, which I completely forgot about, LinkedIn has better quality leads if you're going after businesses or business type people. You don't really want to. I mean, listen, you probably could attempt like a consumer offer on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn is so business oriented that any type of business offer, like, hey, you want to, I know somebody who does LinkedIn marketing, right? So he does LinkedIn marketing and he sells it on LinkedIn. Right, so I'd like a LinkedIn lead generation service. So it depends on what you're trying to do. Uh, Auto finance. So let me explain another industry. So if I was to go out right now today and jump into another industry, it would be auto finance. This is the reason why. And this is kind of get your mind going, right? The reason I'm going to explain to you the reason what you want to look for in an industry. Number one, the industry has to be hot, right? You want to go into something that's on its way up, not on its way down. So auto finance. And you also want to, nationwide. So nationwide, right? You want, if I can spell correctly, that'd be great. Nationwide, you want a hot industry. Okay, these are the things you want. Local, very, very difficult. I'm not saying you can't do local. I actually know these guys who did a pet service. Now, pet services are local. But what they did was they literally got on the phones, they call up every single person that would be interested in buying leads in the pet industry, right? And then they started generating their own leads. So they had, dog walkers, they had obviously like, vets, they had anything pet related, whatever you can even think about. So they had tried to find those buyers, and they went out and generated leads. And they basically generated leads in the locations that they started in, and then they became a nationwide company, and they eventually sold it for millions and millions of dollars. So it really is a good opportunity. I know guys that built a tax service. If you ever see a thing like you owe the IRS $10,000 in tax, that these I know these guys that built a tax uh, lead generation company for tax relief, and they eventually sold it. They made a ton of money. I know a guy that did the same thing in student loan consolidation. Right? You got a student loan, you want to, I mean, student loan is big right now, right? There's so many problems with student loans, nobody can afford them. So the student loan consolidation space, that could be big. But if I was going to do something today, it would be auto finance. Reason why is this: when you put an offer out there for auto finance, and that person sees your offer, and they come to your website, you can ask them, "Hey, you interested in auto warranty?" Most likely going to say yes. "Hey, you interested in auto insurance as well?" Most likely going to say yes, right? You just put it right on your form, right? Just like name, email, phone number. Are you interested in auto warranty? Yes or no. Are you interested in auto insurance? Yes or no. And if they say yes, you can sell that lead off. You can also sell it off to credit repair, right? You can also sell off to credit monitoring. It's good stuff, right? I mean, these are perfect people. These are subprime. They most likely have bad credit if they're on the internet looking for an auto loan. Okay, they're certainly not going to BMW and getting BMW financial services, right? So they're a good candidate for that. So now I'm trying to read my thing here. I kind of screwed this up a little bit, but that's okay. So plus you can sell age leads or market to the age data yourself. That is huge. You have your age data. So let me give you an example. I know guys who are doing auto finance today. They're generating about 2,000 leads a day. And listen, even if they only made $3 a lead profit, that's $6,000 a day profit. That's insane. That's like what, $180,000 a month in profit. And they're only a few guys. You know what I mean? I mean, they definitely have more people, but they do a lot of things. I mean, they do more than that. But if you're one person like I am, and you just start slow, get some buyers lined up, start generating leads, put together your site, you can make a lot of money doing this. So let me just throw this out there. So I'm looking to start a lead gen training. If you're interested in lead gen training, so you can see I do this every single day. I can teach you what you need to do to be successful in lead gen. So if you're interested, there's going to be a form or some stuff on this page on the bottom. Check it out. And if you're interested, fill out the form saying that you're interested. And I don't know, but it's going to be a one-time fee. Provide, unlimited support. Give you everything you need to start a lead gen company. That's what I'm going to do. Everything you need. So, want to set up API to sell leads, set up email marketing, that's fine. Set up calling platform, right? Whatever you need. Set up your website, right? Need to set up a website for conversion optimization, right? You need a website that converts to leads. So everything you need to run this business, explain how to research new affiliate programs, right? Need to be able to do that. You can run ads on AdWords. Now, actually, let me tell you one thing I use for AdWords. When you run ads on AdWords, the best ads that I run today are actually to find lead buyers. So I just throw an ad up on AdWords, and people just come to me. And they say, hey, I'm interested in whatever lead I'm selling. Could be business loan lead, could be credit repair, whatever. And that's how I find my lead buyers. It's so easy. They just come to my site, they see the ad, they call me. The conversion rate's high. Once you get somebody on the phone. This is one thing you also have to understand when it comes to lead generation. If you're a lead buyer, so let's just say you're an auto loan lender, an auto loan finance company, or you're a business loan lender. It doesn't really matter what industry you're in. If you're in the business of buying leads, okay, you don't just buy leads from one company. It's not like you're a web designer, right? And you got to beat out all the other web designers because someone's only going to build a website once, right? So you lose the business, it's gone. People, companies typically do not just buy from one lead provider. Why? Because you don't want to depend on one company. Once that company goes out of business, once they have issues, whatever the case may be, you don't want to be dependent on one company to help you out. Just like if you're selling leads, you don't want one buyer, right? You want multiple buyers just in case one guy drops out. Even if somebody says, "Oh, give me an exclusive on your leads," I would never do it. There's just no point. So you don't want to put your business at risk like that. So when you sell leads, I mean, the reason why I say I have a high conversion rate when someone contacts me that wants leads is because they need leads. They are willing to test you out as long as you can talk to them on the phone and explain to them. But I gotta tell you, once you land one lead buyer, that's a good lead buyer, they stick around for a long time. I've been working with companies for years. I mean, there's one company I work with. I bill them once every 2 weeks, and I just get a check in the mail. I know you would think that they do a wire ACH, but they still mail checks. So they basically just mail it. I haven't ever since they signed up. I haven't spoken to them once. I just learned on where to send my invoices to, and that's it. Never talked to them since. Now that's an amazing buyer, right? That's amazing. So that's the type of buyers that I have a couple of those. I have another buyer similar. I just basically every 2 weeks they send me a wire. They just tell me, hey, yeah, we got this many leads at this price, and we're sending you this much money. It's like clockwork. It's great. Now, of course, I do have some buyers where I require a payment up front. I say, all right, you want to buy 100 leads from me? Here's an invoice. You got to pay before you get them. I do that with any new buyer. Getting paid up front, love it, right? It also helps pay for the marketing, right? So you're not laying out money on your own. So you want to be in that position. But as you get bigger and maybe have a good relationship with someone, make life a little easier. I don't feel like trying to do these invoices all the time. Just, pay me every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever you feel comfortable with. But to basically sum this up, lead generation, affiliate marketing, amazing business. I know it inside and out now for the last 3 years, and I can easily teach anybody how to do this. So if you are interested in a lead generation training, fill out the form below. We will let you know when we're ready to go, and that's it. So you have a good day. Hopefully this was open your eyes, or maybe someone that was already thinking about doing this, then this is definitely a way to go. But if you want to learn from somebody who does this every single day, that would be me, and hopefully I can help you make some money, work from home, just like I do, go on vacation. I spent about 47 days of vacation in the last 12 months. But one other thing I'll say, if you are interested in becoming a business loan broker and small business consultant, I also have that training. So, you can basically, if you received an email from me, then most likely the link to my business loan consulting and brokering training is probably in there. You can watch it at any point in time. But for this lead gen training, it does not exist yet. I'm in the process of putting it together. So if you're interested, let me know. Just fill out the form below. Thanks.